Hi everyone, Diana Rankin here with your weekly Psychic Soul messages and perhaps a prediction or two. We'll see as we go through. This is the 16th week of 2019, and that's April the 12th to the 20th. You'll notice I'm not in my normal place today because I am up staying with friends, Larry and his beautiful wife, Karen. Karen and I go way back for several years up in Wisconsin. And I came up at their invitation and to do some programs at a lovely shop. If you're in the Oregon, Wisconsin area, please be sure to stop in at Peaceful Hearts and Gifts. Lovely, lovely energy and some beautiful items in there. We came up to do sacred circles. So that said, we're going to get going here. Welcome everyone. So glad you're all here. Thank you for coming, for telling your friends, and for coming back. What we always do, or what we started doing at the end of last year, is we're using one of my books, Joy, 52 Ways to Create Happiness in Your Life. And Karen was able to pick out our story in the process we're going to give you, and she just opened the book to page 50, week 51, Believe You Deserve, and we're going to go through a pretty powerful process, tell you a little bit more about that in a few minutes. Plus, as you know, those of you who are here every week, we always get a message from Philip, my spirit guide. Book's looking a little worn there because I use it a lot. And this book has a different wisdom on each page, so we always have to think left page or right page. And we'll get our message in just a few minutes here. When I was driving up here, it gave me a lot of time to think. And I love long drives, I love traveling, and I love meeting new people. So and seeing old friends. So it was absolutely a joyous trip. And it gave me some time to think. The other day when I was walking down the lane, I was thinking about, the thought came to me, you need to start a national movement. And I thought, okay, good. What's that all about? Well, I didn't know. So I thought about it. And then I thought that the words came to me, stand up for love. Okay, that makes sense. And the more I thought about it, and on the lovely drive up here, I had a lot of time to think about it. I tend to usually drive in silence, not always, but I had a lot of time to think about stand up for love. And I thought, you know, when we get caught in anger, when we get caught in those non-life-affirming emotions, if we just do a physical movement, such as stand up, simply doing that physical movement will shift us, if we allow it to, out of the emotion that is harming us into the emotion of love, if we do it with consciousness. So I'm starting this whole new movement. This is the first announcement of it, Stand Up for Love. And we're going to do that in a few moments, and I'm going to ask everyone out there, regardless of what you're doing, to stand up for love. But what does that mean, stand up for love? Well, first of all, it means that we have to be aware of our own behaviors. And it means that we have to make a choice. Are we going to live in fear, or are we going to live in anger? You've heard me say all this before. Let's choose love. Or excuse me, not are we going to live in fear or anger. Let me rephrase that. Are we going fear and anger? Anger's coming out of fear. They're the same. Are we going to choose love, or are we going to choose fear? It's that simple. And that's also pretty complex. So whatever you decide to choose it consciously. And as you choose it consciously, you become aware of how you are creating your life. Because we do create our lives. We create tomorrow with what happens today. And I want to say this particular process and week from Joy that Karen just happened to open the page to. And by the way, you'll meet Karen in a few minutes. It is simply believe you deserve. Before we can choose love, we have to believe we deserve love. We have to believe that we are worthy. You know, and you've probably heard me say this, but I always say we have to hear it at least 10 times before we start really letting it sink in. Our belief systems are pretty well set by the time we're 5 years old. We get those beliefs from our parents, from our grandparents, from the people around us. And then they're reinforced, or we spend the rest of our lives rewriting those belief systems. Either way, when we believe we deserve, we've rewritten any old belief systems that says we don't deserve. So what I want you to do is to start looking at those belief systems you have. And every time you hear yourself in a non-life-affirming thought or emotion, just change it. Every time you hear yourself say, I don't deserve that, or you shouldn't have, or no to yourself, ask yourself very simply, do I deserve this? And if you hear no, change it to yes, I do deserve. I want you to get two friends that you trust. And I want you to sit down, excuse me, in a chair like I'm sitting in. And I want you to put one friend this close to this ear and one friend this close to this ear, okay? And those two friends are talking in your ear, both of them. And they're both saying things like, you deserve, you're worthy of love, you deserve, you're worthy of love. Any words like that that come to mind that are life-affirming and telling you how much you do deserve. This is a very powerful process because what it does is it overrides your conscious thought that tells you you don't deserve. And I want you to tell yourself you do deserve. Because if you believe you deserve, truly believe it, then what you're going to do is you're going to say, if I deserve, so does the other person. If I deserve, I want the other person to have this goodness that I know. And it's going to create compassion, it's going to create kindness, it's going to create love for each other. You do deserve, my friend. Everybody does. Everybody does. What is it you deserve? You're going to have to ask yourself that. But believe me, you all deserve love. As far as predictions go for this week, I'm feeling there might be, it's not really a lull in the turmoil in our country and in our world, but there's a sense of sameness, and in a way that feels like a lull. The sense of sameness is, we just have to kind of take it all in. And I don't see anything horrendous happening this week. I see more of the same turmoil. And just with more of the same turmoil, that gives us more opportunity to reach out to our neighbors with those acts of love, those acts of kindness. Let's get a message from Philip, shall we? Now, remember, think left page or right page, and then we just open to any page or flip through and see what Philip's message for us this week is. There we go. I am thinking left page, but I always tell you both pages. And by the way, thank you so much for the comments. I get to them. I love reading them, and I respond to them just as quickly as I can. But I get to read them before I take the time to respond. So thank you for your comments. Thank you for your love and support. You're the ones who keep me doing this and coming back every week. So here's our message for this week. If yesterday's harvest was limited, perhaps you should plant more abundantly. If yesterday's harvest was limited, perhaps you should plant more abundantly. And then on the right, I just read your message, but I always like to tell you what's on the other page as well. The universe hands you a gift because you are ready, whether you know it or not. This is a gift I'm going to give you this week. And I've asked my friend Karen to come in and join you. And then I'm going to ask every single one of you out there to follow us, to tell your friends, to remember, stand up for love. Here I go. And here's my friend Karen. And we are standing up for love. Come down just a little bit, Karen.
You need to grow up.
Because did you hear what she said? I need to grow up, and she's absolutely right. But she's got this beautiful height on her, and I only think I have that height. So we're going to stand up a little bit for love. There we go. Thank you so much, everyone. We love you. Thank you for sending the love back. And I have to tell you, it's wonderful being here with Karen and her wonderful husband, Larry, and I am being pampered all week. Thank you, my friends. I love you. Daisy is well taken care of, by the way, and so are the kitties. Until we meet again, thank you for your love. Thank you for receiving our love. I love you.